wanted to talk to you about this because I feel like there's an active debate in the space. It's going to rage on for the next year and longer. I'm seeing my audience even bifurcate. Some people are really worried about the idea of a Bitcoin dollar and the concerns that we're just going to extend our debt Ponzi somehow, and that the government's going to try to control Bitcoin in some way. They're going to push down the ability for people to self-custody, encourage everyone to be on these wallets, which ultimately would be under the purview of the government. They could confiscate, they could freeze your accounts if they wanted, versus others say, hey, this is just Bitcoin assimilating into the traditional financial system. This is a great thing. It would be great for the dollar dominance to extend. Where do you sit on that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple really important things to take note here. And just going back to what I was saying earlier, that what this is about is freedom. It's about freedom of speech. It's about the freedom to transact. It's about having digital property rights in the digital economy. That's the policy goal that we need to achieve. It's not about making money. It's not about dollar go up. It's not about speculative trading. All of that's ancillary. The goal is, this is a tool to exercise our most sacred human rights around the world, and this technology should be made available to the people of the world. In the United States, absolutely, as the center of the democratic world, should be at the forefront of doing so. So that's where we start. In terms of, the government getting behind it and concerns about privacy, these are all very valid concerns. I think one piece of policy that has to be a part of the conversation is tax policy. In 2014, the IRS came out and declared that Bitcoin, or convertible virtual currencies, at the time it was basically just Bitcoin, but they're talking about cryptocurrencies, would be taxed as property. Subjecting them to capital gains and capital losses. I don't believe the IRS had the statutory authority to do this. This was not approved by Congress, particularly now that the Chevron deference has been struck down. I think it's very possible that guidance can be reversed, because they did not have the authority to just come out and declare cryptocurrencies as property.
Wow.
You mentioned Eric Trump he gave a great speech. I just watched it this morning. Very bullish. He's obviously a true believer, understands the technology, which is great to have the president-elect's son to be, an actual true understander of what this is all about. And he talked about how the family had been persecuted and debanked and all these other things. And it's like, we're all a part of that.
Right there.
We're all a part of that same family. We've experienced those same discriminatory practices, on this community that the Trump family faced as well. But he talked about if you read his slides that he had up on the screen, one of them was making Bitcoin tax-free. I don't like the way he phrased it. I would not encourage anyone to say, oh, we're trying to make Bitcoin tax-free, because then that just sounds like, oh, we're trying to get out of paying our taxes. That's not what it's about. It's not about not paying your taxes. Bitcoiners pay a lot of taxes. I think 25% of all capital gains within the past couple of years all came from cryptocurrency holders. So this is a community that's absolutely paying their taxes. That's not what it's about. But having digital assets, particularly Bitcoin, taxed as property, for one, it makes it very difficult to use in payments. So when we often talk about Bitcoin, we call it a store of value or digital gold. But Satoshi Nakamoto called it a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So why don't we use it like cash, as Satoshi intended? The reason is because of tax policy.